Biomes of North America by Mary Williams. They are only the largest, easily recognizable subdivisions of the biosphere. There are 7 of them that make up North America: the chaparral, desert, tropical forest, coniferous forest, deciduous forest, grassland, and tundra. The coniferous forest contains 2 types: the moist temperate coniferous forest and the northern coniferous forest, also known as the boreal forest. The chaparral biome has a climate with temperatures averaging between 30 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit. It consists of plants like poison oak, scrub oak, shrubs, and cacti. Some animals you may see are jackals, lizards, bobcats, cougars, and deer. The major locations are found along the coast of Baja in California. The desert biome has a dry climate with temperatures from 113 degrees Fahrenheit at day and 32 degrees Fahrenheit at night. It is one that receives less than 10 inches of annual rainfall. You may see some snakes, lizards, tarantulas, porcupines, and coyotes pass you by. It consists of plants like cactus, shrubs, camel thorn trees, and prickly pears. One famous desert is called Death Valley of the Mojave Desert. The location of the tropical forest biome is in the southernmost region of North America. With temperatures averaging around 80 degrees Fahrenheit and exceedingly high humidity, you may catch rain almost every day. Look out for the hummingbirds, monkeys and snakes, frogs, and 3-toed sloths. And you can't miss the thousands of types of flowering plants either. The eastern deciduous forest has a climate with temperatures averaging at 50 degrees Fahrenheit. It takes up nearly half of the United States, the eastern side, that is. It provides a habitat for a variety of mammals, birds, amphibians, reptiles, and invertebrates. You will see some beautiful maple, oak, and walnut trees, lichens, and more. With temperatures ranging from 70 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer and negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter, the grassland biome obviously has a cold climate. It contains plants like grasses, flowers, and herbs. You shall see some coyotes, bobcats, and a multitude of species of birds. The grasslands are located throughout North America. Now, the tundra. With averaging annual temperatures of negative 58 degrees Fahrenheit, it surely has a cold and dry climate. You will find this biome in Alaska and the northernmost region of Canada. Unlike the usual plants, you will see mosses, heaths, and lichens. While there, you will see the Arctic animals like polar bears, Arctic foxes, musk, oxen, wolves, and caribou.
This picture demonstrates energy flow and tropic levels. The amount of energy at each tropic level decreases as it moves through an ecosystem. As little as 10% of energy at any tropic level is transferred to the next level. The rest is lost largely through a metabolic process as heat. If a grassland ecosystem has 10,000 kilocalories of energy concentrated in vegetation, only about 1,000 kilocalories will be transferred to the primary consumers, and very little will make it to the tertiary level. Energy pyramids such as this help to explain the tropic structure of an ecosystem. The number of consumer tropic levels that can be supported is dependent on the size and energy richness of the producer level.
Biodiversity Reverse by Mia Chambliss. Biodiversity is known to be the variety of living organisms on Earth. Components can be species diversity, which is the variety of species in a community. Number of species is relative to proportions of the species. Genetic diversity, the variety of alleles of the genes of a species. Ecological diversity is richness and complexity of a community. 1.7 million identified species. The largest group is invertebrate animals. The largest group of invertebrate is insects. The last group is plants. Cornerstone of the biological species concept is defined as an inheritable feature that prevents the interbreeding between one or more genetically divergent populations. Speciation is the attainment of reproductive isolation. Reproductive isolation arises as a byproduct of genetic change. The value of biodiversity is very important in many ways. In the medical field, the diversity of plants lead and is the source of many medication. The Madagascar periwinkle is a source of anti-cancer medications, as many other plants and fungi like are also sources of groundbreaking cures, and many more in discovery. The wide variety of many different organisms benefits the way the world heals. It pushes on new discoveries of new organisms and is different in the same way.
So for my art project, I did symbiosis, and symbiosis is any type of a close and long-term biological interaction between two different biological organisms. There are 3 different types of symbiotic relationships. You have mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism. So for the first one, I drew a bee and a flower for mutualism. And these two have a mutualistic relationship because bees need flowers to get their nectar and their pollen. However, when bees do this, the pollen attaches to their body, and when they go from one flower to another flower, they are actually pollinating the flowers. So this is a mutualistic relationship because both the bee and the flower are benefiting from each other. The second one is commensalism, and commensalism is when one organism is benefiting from the other, and the other organism is not benefiting, but it's not being harmed at all. So barnacles often attach to whales' bodies, and they do this because in order for them to filter their food, they need constant water flow. And since whales are constantly moving through the ocean, barnacles can benefit from that. Whales don't feel these barnacles on their backs, and barnacles don't harm them. Therefore, this is commensalism, since barnacles are benefiting and whales are not, but they're not being harmed. The last one is parasitism, and I decided to draw a dog, and that dog has a tick on its belly. The reason why this is parasitism is because the tick is benefiting from this interaction, and the dog is not benefiting from it and is being harmed. So ticks are known to attach to bodies and basically cause different diseases such as Lyme disease. It can get into your bloodstream and cause anemia, and that can harm the dog. So this is parasitism because the dog is being harmed and the tick is the one that is benefiting from it. So yeah, there you have it. 3 different types of symbiotic relationships in our environment.
I will be reading a free verse poem titled We Are Earth by myself, Maya Bonds. We are just 1 in 7.8 billion in a country surrounded by 330 million. The death rates continue to rise every day, yet we are still here to complete the vision. No 2 individuals are alike. That's called variation. We are Earth. As individuals, we have the ability to pass genes to the next generation, called fitness. Fitness is measured by our offsprings and not strength. Many of us are omnivores, eating both animals and plants, while others strictly eat animals, making them carnivores. But we are Earth. Commensalism helps one species and has no effect on the other, as mutualism tends to help both species. Especially in present day, we seem to be competing for food sources. We are left with very few choices, as we are craving identical resources. We are Earth. Most of the Earth's water is too salty for humans to consume. Irrigating crops creates clean water for us to drink. The adaptation of humans has led to a change in the environment. Change is a natural event, but we are Earth. As humans, we have the ability to make observations and decisions about this change. The Earth is filled with garbage and pollution, especially the larger bodies of water. Seabirds have eaten 90% of the plastic left behind, but we are Earth. Our earth is so polluted, we need to make a change. Striving for healthier communities will decrease biological hazards such as the coronavirus. Let's follow precautions like we know our worth. We are Earth. I chose to write this poem titled We Are Earth, basically explaining how we as humans make up the entire earth. And of course, in the poem, I talked about some of the terms that we learned. I kind of wanted to focus on the terms that we learned earlier in the semester about fitness, variation, how we are omnivores, and there's also carnivores also in the earth, and how many people that make up the earth, but kind of just really tying that into today and what we deal with today, because I feel like environmental biology is something that we use in our everyday lives. And this poem is basically just explaining the basics of what we go through every day, and the fact that our world is so polluted and there's so many biological hazards, and they're leading to bigger things such as the coronavirus that we are currently going through right now. And it's just important for us to take note of what the earth is about, how we make up the earth, how we determine the change in our earth and the change in our environment and all of that, and how we can go forward and become more precautious of our actions so that things like this will not happen. But in conclusion, we are Earth, and we have the ability to change what goes on in our everyday lives, and we can improve everything by starting with us as humans. So environmental biology is extremely important, and we've learned so much in this class that we can carry on out into our daily lives.